Good afternoon and welcome to UWS Sport Report. Here are today's headlines. Neil Lennon appears in front of SFA bosses following Sunday's Scottish Cup semi-final against Hearts. Andy Murray is through to the quarter-finals of the Monte Carlo Masters after his opponent retires through injury. Murray will now face Thomas Berdych. Scottish lightweight boxer Josh Taylor has been chosen to represent Team GB at this summer's Olympics. Sale Shark owner Brian Kennedy has resumed talks with Rangers administrators Duff and Phelps as he looks to reconstruct his bid to buy the club. Boxing now, and we sent a team to East Ayrshire. Alan Galindo reports.
North West Amateur Boxing Club has been granted funds for a new gym, which will be a massive boost for the community.
I'd be grateful for the club, absolutely. I'm grateful for the area. It was going to be massive, so it's just going to attract more people to come, obviously. And hopefully it'll get a lot bigger.
The club is also looking forward to their annual boxing event, which will take place on the 27th of April.
Basically, we have a home show, so that see the boys that are up here training all the time, training all year. We'll take them away to shows and they'll compete in other folk shows. Excuse me. But the parents' house aren't there to watch them. Or see if they've got a home show, they can get their parents, their grannies and aunties doing, and it's good for them. That's basically why we do it. We don't want, if we can make money out of the home show to fund the club, it's ideal. If we break even, that's perfect. It's just basically to get the boys boxing in their own town in front of their families.
Talented youngsters from across Scotland turned out to show off their basketball skills at the Peak Sports Centre in Stirling. The National Stars programme is aimed at youngsters who hope to represent Scotland at the Under-14 Championships this summer. Frankie Kerr went along to see the future stars in action.
Scottish basketball looked to have a very bright future as over 300 youngsters turned out to try and impress during the National Future Stars training camp, which was to be held on the 3rd and 4th of March. The 12 to 14 year olds were put through their paces as the kids selected from clubs and schools across the country showcased their skills in order to win selection for the national development squads. There to cast their eye on the young hopefuls were an array of coaches looking to find the stars of tomorrow as they search for the next generation to take part in the Under-12 Gothenburg Basketball Festival in Sweden. The Under-14 age group also barred for selection to compete at the International Invitational Tournament in Edinburgh this July. The final training camps took place at the Peak Sports Village Stirling and Foresters and Augustine School in Edinburgh. The 2 days seen the end of the 2011-2012 Basketball Scotland's Future Stars programme, and by the end of the 2 days, 20 boys and 20 girls were selected. The Future Stars programme is set to return in October for its second year, as hundreds more children aim to take the game of basketball in Scotland to new heights.
With the Olympic and Commonwealth Games hitting our shores in the next few years, a group of students have created a website dedicated to teaching parents and athletes the basics. The Beginner Athlete site allows visitors to read and view video packages detailing the techniques required to successfully compete in several events. Let's take a look at what they have been doing to try and help the next generation of Olympic stars.
The run-up is a vital part of the process as it creates the momentum for the jump and enables the athlete to place their feet as close to the board as possible. In order to complete a successful long jump, the athlete should hit the board without touching the black line. After takeoff, the athlete cycles her legs through the air in order to continue her momentum and propel herself as far as possible. Upon landing, the athlete should attempt to fall forwards, as the distance is always taken from the closest point to the board. Hurdles is one of the more complex track and field events, as it requires the athlete to combine speed, timing and technique. Athletes will participate in drills which are designed to improve the technique of both their lead and trailing legs. It is recommended that younger athletes are walked through the drills instead of doing them at speed. More experienced athletes should be faced with fully extended hurdles. Looking at the freeze frame, the athlete has a fully extended lead leg, while his back leg acts as a lever to push the body forward. As with all sports, warm-up plays a key role in an athlete's preparation. The warm-up continues with dynamic movements in the shape of scissors over the rope. This ensures the athlete's leg muscles are fully prepared for the explosive movements required for high jump. By slowing down the footage, we can analyse the technique in more detail. As the athlete approaches, he alters his body shape by leaning into the bar. Driving off of his lead leg to gain maximum height, he twists his body in mid-air to avoid making contact with the bar. As the freeze frame shows, his back is arched in an almost U shape. With the majority of his body over the bar, his focus switches to flicking his legs over the bar and preparing to land on his back for safety.
The maker of the video, Alan Potts, joins us now in the studio. Alan, what prompted you to make this website?
Basically, we felt just out there's a lot of videos that are aimed at children who are quite technically gifted at the moment. They've been in the sport for a few years. There's nothing out there for athletes and parents themselves to come down and watch basics packages. They don't know where to start. So what we done was we looked to film the packages that you've seen there, and it's just basically give confidence to the parents and the kids about how to take up the sport and get started.
And what's the response been like since the site went live?
It's been really good actually, to be honest. A lot of websites for the clubs have asked could they use our material. Some have even asked us to come down and film their own children for their websites, and to then give that out to parents to go home and watch and just try and give them a few hints and tips to help them out.
And how do you assess Great Britain's chances of gold medals in athletics this summer?
Well, to be honest, I don't think it's what Seb Cole wants to hear, but I don't think we're going to have too many gold medals, I'm afraid. Jessica Ennis in athletics is probably the most high profile that we'll have. Mo Farah as well in the long distance running, but in the sprint events I can't see us getting too many golds, I'm afraid.
Thanks for joining us, Alan. In the studio we have Simon Reid, who's here to talk about this Saturday's Coral Scottish Grand National. Thanks very much for joining us, Simon.
Yep.
Now, you've just received the final list of the 25 entries for this Saturday's Scottish Grand National. In your opinion, who would you say is the favourite?
At the moment, Coral have got Harry the Viking as the favourite. He's sitting at about 5 to 1. He's a Paul Nicholls horse, so he's obviously looking for the double after winning the Grand National last week. He will obviously prove to be very popular because he's part owned by Sir Alex Ferguson, who we know will be at the race on Saturday, and Ruby Walsh will be on board, so he'll definitely be a popular horse.
And can we expect any chances of a Scottish winner this Saturday?
We only have a couple of runners. Merigo, who obviously won in 2010. He's a course specialist. He's never finished outside the top 3 at Ayr, and he should run a good race again. There's also another horse called Abbey Brainey, who's trained by George Bewley. He probably has less of a chance than Merigo, but again, the fact that he's a Scottish horse means he should get a bit of money for him.
And what can racegoers expect from a day at the races this Saturday?
Well, you know, it's going to be very busy. It's Scotland's busiest race day. It's also Scotland's richest race, so there should be a lot of people there. There's a lot of celebrities going. I obviously already mentioned Sir Alex Ferguson, but Alex Salmond will be there. And yeah, it should just be a good day out for everybody.
And finally, we can't let you leave without getting some tips from you, so who's your money on this weekend?
If I had to pick one, I would probably go with Portrait King. He won the Idor Chase at Newcastle quite recently over a similar distance, and he's running quite well, and if I had to put my money anywhere, it would be on Portrait King.
Thanks very much for joining us, Simon. Celtic stopper Charlie Mulgrew and Dundee United goal machine John Daly are on the 4-man shortlist for this year's PFA Scotland Player of the Year award. Rangers skipper Stephen Davis and Kilmarnock striker Dean Shields complete the lineup for this year's prize, which will be announced at the Association's awards dinner on Sunday, May 6, 2012. In the young player category, Celtic winner James Forrest is shortlisted alongside Dundee United duo Johnny Russell and Gary Mackay-Stephen and St Mirren's Kenny McLean. That's all from us today. Thank you for watching. See you next time.